Now let's talk about more serious stuff. The President of El Salvador, Nayib Bukele, is in the US. El Salvador is housing in its mega prisons a number of gangbangers in the US illegally. Tell me about the relationship he has with the Trump administration.
Well, the president of El Salvador is similar to Donald Trump in that he's no nonsense and he wants to get rid of all the gangbangers, not only in his country, but here in America. He wants to kind of be like a private prison, third-party system where we can put a lot of these Tren de Arrugas or MS-13 gangbangers. We can just send them down to El Salvador and we can pay them to house them. So, I love the idea of outsourcing our prisons to El Salvador. So this meeting, it could spell trouble for the cartels and the organized crime that is, causing a lot of problems here in America.
I got to tell you, this guy is one of the most popular leaders anywhere in the world. He was re-elected with such an enormous margin, and he has turned El Salvador from one of the most crime-riddled hellholes anywhere in the world to a safe country, and he's done it in with such speed. It really is a remarkable feat, but the media hates him too, so he never gets any credit for any of that. Also in the White House in recent days, Alex, has been the governor of Michigan, Governor Gretchen Whitmer. She's got ambitions of being the 2028 Democrat presidential candidate. But tell me about this performance here, Alex, trying to hide her face during a meeting with President Donald Trump in the Oval Office. I mean, it just looks juvenile.
Oh, Governor Whitmer is the biggest embarrassment when it comes to not just only her state, but when Michigan was locked down, her husband got caught taking their boat down to the boat dock when everybody else was shut down. When it comes to Whitmer, she did that weird, publicity stunt where she fed the girl the milk and the Doritos chips. So she's not one to shy away from having her face in front of a camera. So for her to do this is just another political stunt, an embarrassment. And it shows you a politician that doesn't want to try to reach across the aisle to try to get things done for her constituents. Instead, she hides her face because she's ashamed and she's a coward of who she really is.
Well, I remember back in the height of the COVID era, Governor Whitmer, whilst Florida was completely open and free, Texas, where you are, was open and free, she was locking down seeds. She didn't want anyone to be planting seeds in their garden to grow vegetables, like just some really bizarre COVID restrictions coming from that governor. Now, let's talk about DOGE. There's another expose by the Department of Government Efficiency. Let's see how many social security numbers have been issued to illegal immigrants.
The Immigration Department mailed them a social security number. No interview, no proof of identity. Just put it in the mail. Here's your number. In 2021, DOGE says 270,000 new aliens were issued Social Security numbers, 590,000 in 2022, 964,000 in 2023, and 2.1 million in 24, right before Biden left office. DOGE also discovered that 1.3 million aliens are now receiving Medicaid.
2.1 million just in 2024. Those numbers are astounding, Alex.
Well, people want to say it's conspiracy, but it's obvious that they wanted to try to import as many people possible so that they could influence future elections. And by giving that many Social Security numbers, making it accessible to vote for these illegal immigrants, I just think that that's obviously what they were doing. So I'm happy that that now is going to stop. And it needs to go back to the good old days when it was 90-day fiancé. You had to marry an ugly person to become an American citizen. You didn't just get a free green card and access to, vote in future elections.
Well, yeah, we'll go back to those heady days. Before you go, I'm really shocked that this story has got barely any coverage. This is a remarkable story. We've got an American, a Russian American, a beautiful ballerina freed in a prisoner exchange, and yet barely any coverage, perhaps because when she was freed, she made the point of thanking Donald Trump.
What's your message to the president?
Mr. Trump, I'm so grateful for you to bring me home and for American government. And I never felt more blessed to be American, and I'm so happy to get home. Thank you.
Welcome home.
Alex, she was sentenced to 12 years in a Russian prison after pleading guilty to treason, all for donating just around $50 to a Ukrainian charity in early 2024. This is a feel-good story. How is this story not being or getting saturation coverage?
Well, you know, Rita, I'm surprised it's not, because I've been very critical of the Ukrainian war, but I'll be honest, Vladimir Putin throws journalists off buildings. Russia is not innocent when it comes to this horrible conflict that's happening. So Russia needs to step up and end this war, and so does the Ukrainians and Vladimir Zelensky. And I'm happy that she's free. For $50 to the Ukraine to be jailed for 12 years, absolutely ridiculous.
Shocking. Alex Stein, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Rita.